Good morning all of you. I am Sharda Meher and today I am going to discuss about the human digestive system of the chapter Life Process class 10th. So the human digestive system mainly consists of an alimentary canal and three associated digestive glands, that is salivary gland, liver, pancreas. So let me explain with the help of the diagram. This is the diagram of the human digestive system and here are the different parts level here of the digestive system. So the digestive system starts from an external opening called mouth. This is the mouth through which we take food. Then the mouth leads into an cavity called buccal cavity. This is the buccal cavity, and in the buccal cavity the associated digestive gland called salivary gland is present. Then the buccal cavity open into the pharynx. And what is the speciality about the pharynx? Pharynx is the common path of both food and air. Food also enter into the digestive system through the pharynx and air also enter into the respiratory system through the pharynx. This is the common path. Then the pharynx leads into an muscular tubular structure called oesophagus. This tubular structure is the oesophagus, and oesophagus open into the stomach. This is the stomach. Stomach looks like as J shape of English alphabet. This is the stomach, and stomach is associated with the digestive gland called liver. This is the liver. Liver is a bilobe structure and a small sac-like structure. This is the small sac-like structure called gallbladder, which is present in the liver. Then stomach enter into the small intestine. So the part of the small intestine which is connected with the stomach is the duodenum. This part is duodenum. Then the next part of the small intestine nearer to the duodenum is the jejunum, and the part of the small intestine which enters into the large intestine is the ileum. Thus, the small intestine is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. These three parts consist of small intestine. This is the large intestine. Here I level here large intestine, and this is the rectum and this is the anus. So these are the different parts of the digestive system. Again we recall all the parts. The different parts of the digestive system is the mouth, buccal cavity, salivary gland, pharynx, oesophagus, stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, large intestine. This is the appendix, rectum, anus. So this is about the different parts of digestive system. Let me explain the function of these different parts. So I have explained here. We will start from the mouth. So mouth is the external opening through which we take food, and the mouth leads into the buccal cavity as I have told earlier. So in the buccal cavity salivary gland is present, and salivary gland secrete saliva. The secretion of the salivary gland is the saliva, and saliva contain digestive enzyme called salivary amylase. This is the name of the digestive enzyme present in saliva, that is salivary amylase. And what is the function of salivary amylase? Salivary amylase change starch into glucose. So the digestion process starts from the buccal cavity with the help of the salivary amylase. Another enzyme is also present in the saliva, that is lysozyme, which is a bacteriolytic enzyme. Then the next part is the oesophagus. So oesophagus is a muscular tubular structure, and what is the function of oesophagus? Oesophagus takes food from stomach, from mouth to stomach. Esophagus takes food from mouth to stomach by the peristaltic movement. Here I mention peristaltic movement. So what do you mean by peristaltic movement? Peristaltic movement means contraction and expansion of alimentary canal, or the contraction and expansion of the inner lining of the esophagus, which helps to move the food from mouth to stomach, and that movement is called peristaltic movement. Next part is stomach. So from the stomach, gastric juice is secreted. Gastric juice is the mixture of pepsin, HCl and mucus. The mixture of pepsin, HCl and mucus is called gastric juice. So let me explain. Pepsin means this is an digestive enzyme. Always remember the name of the digestive enzyme. This is very, very important. This peristaltic movement is also very important. So pepsin is the another digestive enzyme present in the gastric juice. And remember, this pepsin is present in inactivate form called pepsinogen. The inactivate form of the pepsin is pepsinogen, and this is present in inactivate form. And what is the function of pepsin? Pepsin breaks down the protein or helps in the protein digestion. Then next is the HCl. From the inner lining of the stomach, HCl is secreted. And what is the function of HCl in digestion? It makes the medium acidic for easy digestion, or to make the digestion more efficient. It makes the medium acidic. And another function of the HCl is it acts as activator, as an activator of the enzyme pepsinogen. Means HCl activate the pepsinogen into pepsin. Activate the pepsinogen into pepsin. So HCl also act as an activator. Then next, mucus. From the inner lining of the stomach, mucus is also secreted, and the function of mucus is to protect the inner lining of the stomach from the HCl. So the function of the mucus is very important. Always remember this. The function of mucus is to protect the inner lining of the stomach from HCl. Then the next part is the small intestine. And as I have already told, small intestine is divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. And another important thing of the small intestine is it receives secretion of two digestive glands. One is the liver and second is the pancreas. So the secretion of liver is also released to the small intestine, and the secretion of pancreas is also released to the small intestine. So liver, I have already told about the liver. Liver is associated with the stomach, and there is a small sac-like structure, gallbladder, present in the liver. So what is the function of liver? Liver secretes bile juice. Bile juice is secreted by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. The function of gallbladder is to store the bile juice. And function of bile juice is to helps in the emulsification of fat. I have mentioned here the function of bile juice, which is very, very important. Bile juice helps in the emulsification of fats. Emulsification of fats means conversion of large particles of the fat into small particles. Then another gland is the pancreas, and pancreas secrete the pancreatic juice. So here in the diagram there is a common path for both the pancreatic juice and for the bile juice. They both secreted into the small intestine. There is a common duct for secretion of liver and secretion of pancreas. So pancreatic juice contains the digestive enzyme trypsin and the lipase. In the pancreatic juice, the enzyme trypsin is present and also the lipase enzyme is present. And what is the function of trypsin? Trypsin helps to digest the protein into peptones, and lipase helps in the digestion of emulsified fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Then another important thing is the secretion of intestinal juice. Intestinal juice is also secreted from the inner lining of the small intestine. So in the intestinal juice, various enzymes are present which help in the completion of the digestion. Means digestion process is completed in the small intestine, and the various enzymes present in the intestinal juice helps to complete the digestion. And thus, after completion of the digestion, carbohydrate is converted into the simpler form glucose, fat is converted into the simpler form fatty acid and glycerol, and protein is converted into the simpler form amino acid. So always remember this simpler form. This is very, very important. The simpler form of carbohydrate is glucose, simpler form of fat is fatty acid and glycerol, and the simpler form of protein is amino acid. Then the next part is the large intestine. I have labeled here large intestine. This is the large intestine. And what is the function of large intestine in digestion? After completion of the digestion, the undigested food is passed away to the large intestine. And in the large intestine, what happens? Large intestine absorbs all the excess water from the undigested residual food. Then the next part is the rectum. So here this is the rectum. And what is the function of rectum? In rectum, the undigested residual food is stored temporarily. It's stored temporarily, and then it removed from the body through the opening called anus. So the function of anus is to remove the undigested residual food from our body. It helps in egestion. The process of removal of the undigested food is called egestion. So anus helps in egestion. Thank you.